The Eagles will kick off to the Jets to begin things here on a magnificent afternoon in the Meadowlands of New Jersey. Giant Stadium sold out as per usual. The wind comes as no surprise. It's always there. Terrence Mathis will return the kick. He gets it out to about the 20, perhaps the 21. Eagles happy in the beginning about the way they covered that kickoff. Boomer Esiason, of whom we spoke, opens at quarterback. Been a great trade for the Jets and for Boomer. Those are the people up in front of him. Jim Sweeney, the anchor in the center. Blair Thomas, Brad Baxter, Rob Moore, Chris Burkett, and Johnny Mitchell will handle the ball in addition to Esiason. No score. Jet ball, 1st and 10 at their own 22. A lone setback is Baxter, and he gets the carry. Not much doing for Baxter. The Eagles on defense, they lost, of course, Reggie White. But the people who have filled in have done a more than adequate job. Nichols and Millard, the two tackles. Clyde Simmons and Tim Harris, the defensive end. The linebacking core among the best. And in the secondary, Allen and Mark McMillan, the cornerbacks. Miano and Wes Hopkins, the safeties. 3 wideouts for the Jets. Esiason to throw it. Under pressure. Going to take off with it. Going to have a first down. To about the 34 where he goes feet first. Mark McMillan tripped him up.
You know, one of the things the Eagles wanted to do was rush Boomer Esiason straight up the middle. They wanted the pressure to come from the middle. This time it does. Watch number 77, Keith Millard. He's going to come right up and be in Boomer's face. The only problem with that is when you get pressure up the middle and you flush him out, you have to have someone right there, right now. If not, he's going to take that soft corner and go out and get a first down. They did the flush job well, but they didn't do the contain part of it.
1st and 10 Jets at their own 34. Baxter is the man in motion. Esiason to throw it quickly, and does quickly, to Chris Burkett. Another Jet first down. That's the thing about him. He gets rid of it quickly. He only drops about 5 yards.
And you know, he's one of those guys, when he gets a hot streak going, he can keep it going. I mean, you look here at his completion percentage, 72%. And he can get on those rolls, you know, where he gets 12, 15 in a row, that type of thing going.
He did that last Sunday night against New England. Completed his first 13. Could have been more than that. There's Burkett in motion. This is Baxter. No, it isn't. Right side. Johnny Johnson, who we were told would get more work today.
You know, we talked about Boomer Esiason coming over here to the Jets. We talked about Ronnie Lott on defense, but one of the guys that Bruce Coslett is really impressed with is Johnny Johnson. He said, you know, he's not sure what his problems were in Phoenix, but he's been a model player and a model citizen since he's been here with the Jets.
Well, of course, when he was with Phoenix, there were rumors, there was talk that he was hard to handle, wouldn't show up on time, but Coslett says that's not true.
There was rumors about him all the way back in college at San Jose State.
Yep. He'll get another try. He's got another first down. The Jets move to the Eagle 44. Stopped by Wes Hopkins.
The Jets are doing an interesting thing. The Eagles really want to plug up the middle. They want to pass rush the middle and stop the inside run. So what happened is Boomer loosened them up by scrambling and getting to the outside. Then they bring in Johnny Johnson, and they start inside and then run the ball to the outside. So they're going to make that Eagle defense widen out a little and not be as bunched in the middle.
Johnny Johnson gets a rest. Now Blair Thomas is the lone setback behind Esiason. Comes the pressure up the middle again. And the pass is high. Intended for Burkett. defended by McMillan. Let's see that pressure.
Well, we talked about what the Eagles want to do is they want to get the pressure right in this lane. They want to come right up here. You see, here comes the inside pressure. That's what they want to do. They want to put 4-on-2 in there, and they got a good pickup there on Seth Joyner, and that was the block that let Boomer Esiason get rid of the ball. But that's the Eagles' defensive game plan, is pressure up the middle.
2nd and 10. Where Thomas, the ball carrier, and Thomas near another Jet first down. He's going to be a couple of yards short, but it's a good run and a good advance by Blair Thomas.
And that's the second time that they picked up Seth Joyner. Watch Joyner, here's right here. He's going to blitz in this thing again. Now, this can be 4 run or pass, but watch a block that they get on him right there. The phrase, the last time it was a pass block. Watch this run block. Boom, right there. That's the first block that stops the penetration and creates a hole.
Like to welcome those of you who watched Tampa Bay win their first and beat Detroit. Welcome to the Meadowlands, where the score is 0-0. It's 3rd and 2. It's the Jets and the Eagles. Jeff Criswell might have jumped.
I tell you, Keith Millard is one of those quick-type guys who was wound tightly early in a game, and any little thing that moved, boom, he's going to go. I'll tell you that. And it was the left tackle, Criswell.
Ball start prior to the snap, 69 offense. 5 yards, repeat 3rd down.
Ron Blum is the referee.
But your left tackle is right here. Criswell's going to move. In the minute he moves, boom, watch Millard fire across there. See any little movement, Millard's watching any little movement. He sees that Criswell had to block Millard. Criswell was blocking down on Millard. He left a little early.
They need 7. On 3rd down, Baxter remains behind Boomer. As Moore in motion. Pass is caught from Esiason to Burkett. Right now, let's send you back to New York to our studios for a baseball update.
All right, Pat, and it's all over in Atlanta. Greg McMichael strikes out Darryl Boston of the Colorado Rockies. The Braves win 5-3. If the Dodgers beat the Giants later on today, the Braves are champions of the National League West. Pat?
So the Atlanta Braves have succeeded in putting more pressure on the Giants. Now they have to win to force that playoff. 1st and 10 here. The Jets on the move for the opening kickoff. This is Blair Thomas. Thomas swings down close to the 20, stopped by Seth Joyner.
You know, Seth Joyner plays that left side of the defense, and most of the running has been at that side and at Seth Joyner. We were talking to Joyner last night, and he says that he knew when they didn't sign Reggie White in the offseason that he was going to see more running on his side. So what did he do about it? He added 5 pounds. He said because when he had Reggie and them there, he didn't have to worry about running at him too much, but he could see it coming in the offseason that they were going to run at him.
2nd and 7. If anybody can handle that pressure, it's Seth Joyner. That's Johnny Johnston. Hammers it down inside the 10. Broke a tackle. Out of bounds by Millard at about the 7.
And he broke a tackle by a good one. That good one is number 56 right here. Watch Byron Evans, one of the best middle linebackers in football, take on a block. Johnny Johnson runs right through Byron Evans' tackle. That's what you talk about, stepping and running through a tackle.
So far, one of the things that the Jets wanted to do was keep the ball, keep it away from Randall Cunningham. And look what they've done so far. 1st and goal from the 7. Baxter is the lone setback. Esiason outside, touchdown. James Thornton, the backup tight end, the ex-Chicago Bear, scores for the Jets. Wide open.
That was a great drive by the Jets. Great mixture, run and pass. Boomer even had a scramble in there. That was almost picture-perfect offense. And this is the way it ends. Here's number 80, Thornton. He's just running an out here. It looks like they tried to get a little pick on the inside, and no one covered James Thornton.
Not only did they try to get a little pick, they got one.
They got a big pick.
The extra point by Blanchard is good. He hit the upright, but it bounced in good, and it's 7-0. First quarter. Meadowlands. First quarter, 7:49 left. Some of the other scores, the Rams and New Orleans, 0-0, as are Minnesota and the 49ers. All those scores in the first quarter. Seattle, 7-0 over San Diego. Dallas, 36-14 final. Tampa Bay gets their first victory. The Bears win their second in a row. Kansas City over the Los Angeles Raiders. Sikahema with room. Pops it out to about the 36, where the Eagles will get their first offensive possession of the day.
New loose fit Dockers. Nobody does pants like Dockers. And by priority mail from the United States Postal Service, we deliver for you.
Back in the Meadowlands at Giant Stadium. First and 10, the Philadelphia Eagles at their own 36. The Jets lead at 7-0. First and 10 at the 36. Heath Sherman. Randall Cunningham, the Eagle quarterback, after a spectacular start. Up in front of him, the much improved offensive line. Anton Davis and Broderick Thompson, the tackles. Shad and Baldinger, the guard. Alexander, the center. There's a flag on that last play. Walker, Heath Sherman, Barnett, and Calvin Williams wide. Mark Bavaro, who played so many games here as the Giant tight end, is now the Eagle tight end. Holding against the Eagles is the penalty. So that'll make it first and 20 from the Eagle 26. Sherman and Walker behind Cunningham. Safety man Ronnie Lott troops up. Cunningham gives over the right side, continued his fake. Heath Sherman, the ball carrier, stopped by Bobby Houston and Jeff Lageman. That's the defensive setup, the front four for the Jets. Lageman and Marvin Washington, the tight ends. Marshall, the ex-Giant, and Merchereau are the tackles. The three linebackers, Lewis Clifton and Bobby Houston. And the secondary, Hasty and Thomas, with Lott and Washington, the safety. Second and 16. Sherman got 4. Cunningham back to throw it. It throws high. It's caught by Fred Barnett. And the Jets take the ball away from Barnett. Hasty streaking down the sidelines. Hasty still on his feet inside the 5 to the 4. They just took it away, but they're going to bring it back.
They're blowing it dead. They're blowing it dead back there. Whether they're going to say that was before the fumble recovery or not, we don't know. But that one official was standing back here and saying the ball is dead back here. I think Cunningham was throwing that to his tight end, Maurice Johnson. Went over Johnson's head.
Barnett had to jump to get it as high as it was.
Watch here, he's looking to his left. There's Johnson. You see Johnson, it went over his head right to Barnett. Barnett has the ball. Now, again, you see all those Jets, great gang tackling. Hasty comes out and just takes the ball away from him. And they blew the ball dead back there, but now it looks like they're changing it, and it is going to be the Jets' ball.
And how they decided on this location, I'm not sure. But it's the Jets' ball. You're right about that. Back at just inside the 15.
And I tell you, this Eagle team hasn't stopped the Jets yet. They got that first drive. They had the ball over 7 minutes, 11 plays, 78 yards. 4 passes and 7 runs. Good mixture. The Jets offense really has the Eagles on their heels.
Baxter is the deep back. Blair Thomas is with him. And that's Baxter. The Eagles up quickly, led by Eric Allen and Seth Joyner. Let's go back and see if we can figure out why they marked the ball where they marked it.
Well, James Hasty is number 40. He's the guy that took the ball away from Fred Barnett, and you can see right there, it looks like right there, his right foot is on the line.
That's where they marked it. James Hasty took it away from Barnett while Barnett was still up. One of the officials stayed back where Barnett was, but the rest said the Jets have it. And it's 2nd and 10. Touchdown to Mitchell from Esiason. Boy, you talk about having them back on their heels.
And you talk about a team going out and making something happen. The Jets are doing that today. Their offense takes the ball, boom, right down the field. The defense comes in. The defense gets a turnover, gives it to him. Esiason comes back. The first touchdown he threw was a tight end, Thornton. The second one is a starting tight end, Mitchell. He just throws that post into him, zips it right in there.
The extra point is good, and it's 14-0. Blanchard for the extra point. Here's the touchdown.
Johnny Mitchell is going to be one of his favorite receivers all year.
The Jets lead the Eagles 14-0. 5:36 left to play in the first quarter. The Eagles have only run 2 plays. Aguiar to kick it off. High kick to Sikahema. Got some room. To the 37-yard line. And that's where the Eagles will take over.
You know, Pat, last night when we were talking to Seth Joyner, he was talking about the new thing that really bothers where you get double tight ends together running pattern. Then when you add the fullback to it, what the Jets did was flood a zone. Now you say, what's flooding the zone mean? Means getting 3 of them. We can stop it right here. We got the back short. Here's 1 tight end here, and here's the 3rd guy. 3 guys in this zone, and then Mitchell is going to be the deep one and the touchdown. That is tough to cover.
1st and 10, the Eagles. Calvin Williams was the man in motion. Here's Cunningham. If that's a catch, that's a heck of a catch. Incomplete.
I'll tell you, the other thing that was a heck of a thing was Jeff Lageman, the right defensive end of the Jets, knocked Cunningham down just after he threw that ball. Heck, if the Jets are going to get any pressure from their front 4, it's probably going to be from Jeff Lageman.
Jeff, of course, coming back from very serious knee surgery. Spent the whole of last year almost in rehabilitation. Walker comes in motion. Heath Sherman struggles outside the 40. Pickup of 4 or 5.
You know, Jeff Lageman has been the guy that's been the leader of that Jet team, and then he was injured last year, and then he had to come back this year. Now they bring in Boomer Esiason, they bring in Ronnie Lott, but I think the resident leader of this team is this guy right here, Jeff Lageman.
As they say, his motor is always running.
Rich Kotite says he knows, and he says he's an excellent pass rusher. The Eagles today would like to run at him.
3rd and 6. Screen pass to Walker. Walker gets to about the 45 and is knocked backwards at that point. Not enough for a 1st down.
And I'll tell you, that time Leonard Marshall knocked Randall Cunningham down. Now again, this doesn't go anywhere in the stats, but watch Marshall 70, the ball's thrown, and boom, they've just given him 1 shot. And when you're 300 pounds and you give a guy what looks like a little shot, he hits that ground pretty hard. They put Cunningham down twice.
And backwards. Eagles. The Eagle punter to Clifford Hicks. And Hicks gets to about the 23 and knocked out of bounds at that point. And again, the Jets will take over. Derek Oden made the stop. It's 14-0. 4:04 left in the first quarter. Atlanta has already won. They're in the top of the second in Los Angeles. No score there as yet. The Giants must win to force the playoff. 1st and 10, Jets at their own 23. Sison to Blair Thomas. Thomas on a quick draw, stopped by Wes Hopkins. Richie Kotite, whose team is 3-0 and one of the 3 unbeaten teams in the NFL. The Giants in New Orleans, the other 2. 2nd down and 5 at the 28. That's Mitchell, and I beg your pardon. That's Moore in motion. That was Brad Baxter pounding over the right side. Not enough for a 1st down, but close. Byron Evans made the stop.
You know, if you look at the right side of that Jet offensive line, Ciopelli, Malamala, and Dwayne White, I mean, there's some size. If you're going to pick a side to run, look at the size. I mean, here's a guy that's about 320 pounds. Here's another 310. You know, and then you got a tight end blocker. Why not run to that side? I mean, that's where you got your big guys. I mean, you just put your big old guys. They turn them backwards, sideways, and everything. See what they did to Keith Millard? They really have they're running right.
All they really have to do is get in front of you. Here's Sison quickly to Mitchell. He hung on and got another 1st down. The ball appeared to be almost loose as Wes Hopkins was wrestling with him, with Mitchell.
And that was a perfect pass by Boomer Esiason. He zipped it in. We were talking about which way to run. Look, only 1 time to the left for 5 years. So far, they've run 9 times to the right for 52 yards. Part of that may be the way they want to go, but the other part, I think, is that big right tackle, Malamala, and that big right guard, White.
Moore was the man in motion. This is Blair Thomas. Looking for room and not finding much. Stopped again by Hopkins. He has made a lot of tackles so far.
You know, that's one of the things they talk about, the 8-man front. The Jets do a lot of that. Your 7 men would be your defensive line and your linebackers. And then when you get a safety involved in the running game, that's what constitutes the 8-man front. And today we have some good safeties. I mean, some good hitting safeties with Wes Hopkins on the Eagles. And then, of course, on the other side, you got Brian Washington and Ronnie Lott of the Jets. Those are 3 good hitting safeties.
That double tight end setup, this time to the left for the Jets. Now Thornton comes in motion, and the handoff is to Johnson. And he has been indeed quite an addition. 1st down, Jets. Byron Evans knocked him out of bounds.
I tell you, Dwayne White got just enough of a block on Mike Flores. Looked like Flores was going to get some penetration there, and then White gets him and lets Johnny Johnson get to the outside. Watch White. He's the right guard here. Now watch him when he gets right there at that position. You see, he just gave him there, and he turned him back to the inside so that Johnson could get around that corner.
Johnson again is the lone setback. Sison back to throw it, trying to set up a screen, wasn't there. So Boomer takes off. Like about a 3-yard gain for Esiason.
Keith Millard made a great read on that play, Pat. It was going to be a screen to the tight end on the right. Millard starts to rush, and he reads it. Now it's going to be a screen over here. These guys are going to be in screen, and Millard is going to come off. When he sees the screen, he's going to come out there, and Boomer can't throw it. If we can run it here, now stop it here. You see right here, he's trying to throw the screen here, but he can't do it. because it's covered good by Millard and Floyd, so he just takes off and goes to the left.
Johnson this time did well to get back to the line of scrimmage. Millard was injured earlier. Went back to the bench. It looked as if his knee might be bothering him, but he seems to be okay now. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Jets 14, the Eagles nothing. Jim Sweeney. Right ankle is the problem.
You know, an interesting thing here, if you look there just above his ankle that they're taping, he got a tattoo right there, and that's his English bulldog named Spike. Now, that's an offensive lineman. I mean, you know, you put a tattoo in your leg. Okay, who are you going to tattoo? You tattoo your dog. If you got a dog, it's an English bulldog, and his name's Spike.
Gotta be Spike.
Perfect for Jim Sweeney.
Right now, it's not too much perfect for Jim Sweeney. He's been replaced. Siason's throw is high. And look at these first quarter statistics. 9 first down for the Jets, none for the Eagles. They wanted to keep the ball away from Randall Cunningham, but look at the time.
They've done that. They've wanted to be able to run the ball. The Jets have, and they've done that. They haven't had any turnovers. Those are all 3 things right in a row that they wanted to be able to do.
Aguiar is the Jets punter. Usually kicks to his left and does again. Aiming for the out of bounds, gets it out of bounds. Let's see where. Between the 15 and the 10, about the 12. So the Eagles will take over at their own 12. 14:52 left to play in the first half. 14. The Eagles nothing. That's Heath Sherman trying to get around the corner, stopped by Kyle Clifton, the middle linebacker.
Yeah, here we are in the second quarter, and the Eagles just haven't gotten anything started yet. I mean, they've been on their heels on defense, and offensively they haven't gotten anything started because they've had a turnover, and 2, they just haven't had the ball long enough to get anything started. Yeah,
right.
They have to have the ball, y'all.
It's a good idea if you're going to score, isn't it? Second down, about 8. Now is Walker in motion. Cunningham gets it to Fred Barnett. The last time they completed that pass to Barnett, it turned out to be a disaster.
Let's watch the blocking here. Now, this is what, you know, it really takes. If you're going to do something, you have to. It all starts with good pass protection. And you see the left side of the line there. They get on Lageman. That's the guy that they're worried about, who's going to give them the pressure. And I think right there, Broderick Thompson was a little too soft on that one. I mean, you can't let Lageman take that angle and come that tight to your quarterback.
Broderick Thompson has done a remarkable job in moving from the right side, where he played most of his entire career, over to the left tackle spot. People don't realize what an adjustment that is.
Yeah, I mean, everything that, you know, is your outside on one side is your inside when you go to the left side. Everything that's your inside is your outside, and everything is backward. And he said when he came, he said, I'll play any position but left tackle, and that's where they put him.
That's where he wound up. Here's Cunningham. Fake to Sherman. Looks at Walker. Picked off by Ronnie Lott. Bavaro was reaching, but the Jets have it.
Randall Cunningham said during the week, he said when you play against Ronnie Lott, you always have to know where he is. It didn't look like he knew where he was. Watch, you can see 42 there. Randall's coming off a play fake. He's going to move a little to his right. He gets pressure there. And if he knew where Ronnie Lott was, he shouldn't have thrown it, because he threw it right to Green 42. When you talk about football players, I think Ronnie Lott is a guy. If you say, what is a defensive football player? What is it all about? I think you look at Ronnie Lott.
What is leadership?
What is toughness? What is hitting? What is football?
He furnishes it all. That's Blair Thomas. Down to about the Eagle 27. Stopped by Wes Hopkins again.
You know, Ronnie Lott, you know, you talk about what he brings to it. Now, he's not as fast, he's not as quick as he used to be, but I've always said that of all the players that I've talked to in the National Football League, Ronnie Lott knows more about football than any player in this league.
And he can communicate how he feels about the game. Not that he has to, he does it by example.
Yeah, when he comes to hit you, I mean, he brings a full load with him.
Second down. Esiason to throw it. Pass is caught by Burkett. Good throw, good catch. Nobody else is going to catch that ball if Burkett didn't.
And that's the thing that Boomer will do. He'll throw it to everyone. Burkett, you see what he did there? He got a push-off. That's the thing. That's not legal, but big guys do that. You know, if you can just get him. Eric Allen had pretty good coverage, but Burkett took that left arm, pushed him off a little, then could run that out, and then come back and then go up. Both of these receivers, outside receivers, are tall guys, and they can both jump.
Johnny Johnson is the lone setback. He gets the carry. The Eagles plug it up in a hurry. Byron Evans, the first man there.
Yeah, that's the thing. See, they've been getting Byron Evans blocked. I mean, if you're playing a four-man line, as the Eagles play on defense, your middle linebacker has to make most of the tackles against the run. And I think that's the first tackle that I remember Byron Evans making at the line of scrimmage against the run.
Well, don't forget he has that broken thumb on one hand, and he was telling us a couple of weeks ago he can do everything else, but he just can't wrap up when he starts to tackle.
And I think that's what happened earlier in the game. Remember when Johnny Johnson on that ran, he ran right through a Byron Evans tackle.
Here comes the blitz. Esiason has to throw off the back foot, but he does to Mitchell. Touchdown. His second of the day. Esiason's third.
And all three touchdowns have been to the tight ends. I would say, if anything, the Eagle defense had better start watching those tight ends. Johnny Mitchell second. The first one was to James Thornton. And Boomer Esiason is getting excellent protection. That time William Thomas came on a blitz, almost got there, and Boomer had to get rid of the ball to Johnny Mitchell, and he did for a touchdown.
The key word you just used is almost. He didn't get there. He almost did.
And in this first half, that's happened about 4 or 5 times where the Eagles were almost there on Boomer, but not there in time. And you got to give a lot of that to Boomer for getting rid of the ball quickly.
Oh, he said before he had to throw off the back foot. He did, but he still got it there. He's a big, strong guy. The extra point by Blanchard is good. 21-0 with 11:38 left to play in the first half. The Jets in control from the outset. The Eagles, nothing. 2 touchdowns for Johnny Mitchell. His first multiple touchdown game ever.
You know, and it all started again with that turnover, that pass interception by Ronnie Lott. The Jets defense have gotten 2 turnovers, and the Jets offense have created 14 points out of those 2 turnovers.
Aguiar's kickoff sailing to Sekahema, about 2 yards deep in the end zone. He's come close to breaking a couple already. And he comes close again to the 28.
Let's watch his touchdown pass. It's a little street move here by Johnny Mitchell. What he does, he comes here and he goes like he's going to block. Then he falls down in the ground. That's how you get lost. Then he gets up and comes across the field. Yeah, that's what you do. You go like you're going to block, and then you go down in the ground. You see, then you roll around, and then they don't see you. And then you get up, and they say, where'd that guy come from? He was on the ground. That's with Clyde Simmons. In fact, that's how you react after the guy cuts you and rolls on the ground and gets up and scores a touchdown.
Doesn't make you happy.
You throw your hat.
Fake to Walker. Cunningham to James Joseph, a running back who also doubles as a tight end. Boomer's calling home.
They're probably talking about the success that they had. I mean, there's nothing that they haven't been able to do. This guy here has caught 2 touchdown passes already. They've been able to run. They've been able to play pass. They've been able to fake a block, get up, cross, catch touchdown passes.
So far, it's been a day for the tight ends. Thornton got the other touchdown. The backup tight end. Herschel Walker gets the carry. Herschel broke a couple of tackles. Got out for a gain of about 9. Stopped by Bobby Houston.
That was one of the things that Rich Kotite said that they wanted to do was, of course, be able to run the ball, but then when they did run, to run to the left side. I mean, he thinks that Jeff Lageman is a good pass rusher, but he thinks that one thing that he's not as good against the run, and you can't run at him.
Walker is the lone setback. They're going to have to hurry to get this one underway. They do. Walker again.
Their left side.
Well, Richie Kotite was saying last night, I think you have to run at Lageman. He can rush the passer, yes. We have to worry about that, yes. But when we run, we have to run at him. Cunningham. Navarro. Out of bounds at the Jet 35 by Bobby Houston.
You know, one of the things that the Eagles were talking about doing today, and they haven't done it in this first half, and maybe they'll wait until the second half to do it, is go with a no-huddle offense. They have that in for this game, and not a hurry-up offense, but Rich Kotite says that he feels that Randall Cunningham feels a lot more comfortable in that environment, you know, like the come from behind type stuff.
Plus, we can keep some of their defensive substitutions off the field. Cunningham to Joseph. James Joseph, an Eagle first down. Stopped by Mo Lewis.
And I think this may be the first time they're going into the no huddle, Pat. In fact, this is it.
Not a 2-minute drill, not a panic, as you said. Just let's get it underway in a hurry. Cunningham back. Outside to Joseph. The Jets were there in a hurry on defense. Flag down on the play. This has got to be against the New York Jets.
I would think if I were going to come up with a no-huddle play and try and catch a defense off balance, it would be something other than a screen pass.
Mercero and Marshall were in the area when Joseph went down. Let's see what happened.
Face mask, 56 defense. 5 yards from the end of the run. Repeat first down.
Lageman.
I'll tell you one thing about Lageman. He had a hustle to get that face mask because he was lined up on the other side and he ran all the way across the field. In fact, they're taking Lageman and Marshall out now. The Jets do that. They change defensive linemen. They rotate them to keep them fresh. This is their second unit in there now.
And they say there's not much difference between the first unit and the second unit.
I'll tell you, the thing that they're going against, they're putting a second unit in, though, against something new and different, this no-huddle offense. Of course, if the officials stand over the ball and don't let them snap it, then no-huddle has nothing to do with it.
That's right. You can talk all you want to. Cunningham still delivering the message.
Dave Alexander, the center, calls the blocking.
1st and 9. All kind of pointing going on. Broderick Thompson might have moved too early.
Yeah, and Carl Wilson was the right defensive end on Broderick Thompson, and he touched his helmet.
False start prior to the snap, 76 offense.
And that was Broderick Thompson. And, you know, a lot of times you try something new, you're going to throw him off balance. You're going to confuse him, and watch him. Here he is, and what it does is it just confuses your own guy. You see, he just had a little flinch there, just enough. Wilson gets up, touches him on the helmet.
1st and 14. Cunningham's pass is complete to Fred Barnett. It'll be 1st and goal. Well, that's a good throw.
It had to be a good throw. Eric Thomas, number 22 of the Jets, really had pretty good coverage. Watch him. He's going to be right there on Fred Barnett. Good pass protection. You know, and they talk about Cunningham being able to run and do all this stuff, but I'll tell you, he can zip the ball. There's not many other guys that can zip and put the zip on the ball like Randall Cunningham.
It's a little windy here today, but that doesn't bother a throw like that. Here's Walker. And he bounced to the outside and rambles into the end zone. Herschel Walker never lost his balance from 8 yards out.
And that's the one thing about Herschel Walker, and the one thing you learn in playing against Herschel Walker is you have to wrap him up. They had him stopped on the inside, then he bounced out. They should have had him stopped again. They put in that second defense, and it didn't do the job. You got to wrap up. You got to wrap up your tackles. The Eagles on this drive took it to him. Took it to him with the run.
Matt Barr for the extra point. With the punter, Jeff Feagles, the holder in this case. Mentioned before, it's a little bit on the windy side. Matt Barr is used to that in this stadium. Total yards still favor the Jets.
On the touchdown, he starts in here. Boom, he stops. There's a solid wall here. Then he just bounces it to the outside. Again, no one tackles him. No one wraps him up. That's pretty good blocking, though.
Barr's kickoff is handled by Terrence Mathis, and he's down at the 20.
You know, it looked like one of those things on Herschel Walker's run there for a touchdown. It looked like it was one of those things, you got him, I'll get him. And no one got him. Watch him. He just runs to the inside right here. We just stop it right here. You see everyone is stopped. They're all inside. No one makes a play, and then they get out there, and it's just too late by the time James Hasty gets over here.
No one wraps him up until he started to relax. Then Hasty arrived. Boomer back to throw it. Mitchell taken down by Byron Evans. For a baseball update, let's again send you back to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Pat, at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, Dave Hansen base hit just out of the reach of a diving Robbie Thompson, gets Kevin Gross home. 1-0 Dodgers. Giants have to win this game in order to force a playoff with the Braves tomorrow night, Pat.
It's 21-7, the Jets over the Eagles. 2nd and 5 for Megan. That's Baxter. Will not get the first down, only got about a yard. Stopped by Byron Evans.
You know, one thing about Randall Cunningham, you know, and he knows that they know how to come from behind. And I think that's what they're talking about. I mean, you know, that they've been behind. They were behind against the Green Bay Packers. Remember, they had that great comeback. They were behind against the Washington Redskins.
Another great comeback.
Right, and it's a 4-quarter game. And I felt that last drive that they had was the first time that in their probing they got anything going.
They looked very confident in getting it done, as the Jets did earlier. 3rd down. Boomer back to throw it. Almost picked off. Could have been by Eric Allen. He had a clean shot and a clean field in front of him. He's done it so many times.
Yeah, and he knows that would have been a touchdown, too. You know, we just got word that as we see Fred Barnett that he injured his knee and he is out for the game. And so part of that comeback, you know, Fred Barnett should be a big part of it. But he's not going to be in today's game.
They have a capable replacement in Victor Bailey. But he's not Fred Barnett.
And that's why we saw Randall Cunningham talking with Bailey on the sideline.
Aguiar back to kick. Sekahema, fair catch. Out of bounds at the 34. So the Eagles take over. 5:40 left to play in the second quarter. 21-7 Jets. Fateful day in the Meadowlands. An airship travels over 60,000 miles a year covering network sports events. That sounds like Madden Cruiser mileage.
Yeah, but they get to sit up there and watch a game. And then they get to watch golf and they watch tennis and everything, don't they?
Yeah. Probably a little bit better view than you have. First, Cunningham, Bailey to about the 42, a gain of 7 or 8. Eric Thomas knocked him out of bounds. 2nd and 3. Bailey is a big guy, and they think he's going to be a pretty good receiver. 6'2" and 190. That's Heath Sherman behind the line, stopped by Mercereau.
Yeah, I think the Jets finally figured out what they were going to do. The Eagles, we talked about them probing, and they were probing, so they were going to run. They know that they were going to run to this side. So part of it is to get the nose tackle involved, and he can come over and help on runs to that side too. You see him? Mercereau just jumped that thing. He was lined up over the center. He just went boom, and he jumped to the right before the ball was even snapped.
Alexander had no chance to cut him off. That was his assignment. Here's Cunningham. First down. Bailey.
You know, Victor Bailey's one of those guys that Randall Cunningham told us about that he knew right from the get-go that was going to be a good one. He took him in, in the summer and in training camp, and he's been playing as a third wide receiver on this team.
Again, no huddle. Cunningham quickly set to go. Bailey. 3 straight. About a yard short of a first down. Stopped by Eric Thomas.
You know, we saw it when the defense was on the field. We saw Randall Cunningham talking to Victor Bailey, and probably some of these plays that he knew he was going to call, he probably talked to Bailey about his assignments and what he was going to do on them.
Walker is split wide left this time. They give to Heath Sherman for the first down.
This is a formation that they call black formation. Brown formation is 2 running backs in the backfield. Black formation is 1 running back in the backfield and then running back out as a wide receiver.
You know, John, one thing you have to say about the Eagles, even when it was 21-0, you never got the feeling that they were in a state of panic.
No, because I think, the experience of the Green Bay game, the experience of the Redskin game, I think that helped them, that they knew that they could be behind and they can still come back and win a game.
This is the Jets lead the Eagles 21-7, 3:10 left to play in the first half. Jets jumped out and controlled 21-0 early.
We talk about Victor Bailey being a pleasant surprise for this Eagle team. The other guys are running back Vaughn Hebron, and he's in there, I think, for the first time in this game, Pat. He's in there at running back.
He has tried to get in before, but hasn't been successful. He can break some things. Here's Cunningham, chased by Marshall. Downs it. Incomplete. Incomplete pass. Arm was going forward.
And Cunningham's hurt.
Randall Cunningham has to limp to the side.
Yeah, he's hurt. I mean, he didn't get in position to take that thing. He wasn't a runner. He started to run, and then he tried to get rid of the ball, and he got hit at that point between being a runner and being a passer. I think if he were a runner, he would have been all right. But you see, he jumped and tried to throw the ball, and one guy had him down below, and one guy had him up above.
Looked like his left knee or left ankle You could see it buckle just at the last instant. Bubby Brister is the backup quarterback for the Eagles. He's had no time to warm up.
And that was the same knee that Randall Cunningham injured 2 years ago. Remember, he was out for the season, had major reconstructive surgery on that knee. And again, he just got caught in a jump. You know, he always jumped, and he likes to jump because he believes if you get your feet out of the ground, those things can't happen to you. But he jumped, got his feet out of the ground. Then when they went back into the ground is when that happened to him. That is a blow.
Brister is the quarterback on 2nd and 10. The handoff is to Hebron. Down to about the 32. He is very, very quick. Also tough.
You know, they're putting a brace or air cast on
like his ankle.
Cunningham ankle and leg. I think it's the whole leg, Pat. It's more of a brace that goes around the foot, but it looked like it goes up the leg too.
I really couldn't tell how far up it goes. 3rd and 3. James Joseph behind Brister, who's not sure, and calls a timeout. They have 1 left now. Randall Cunningham. They're still looking at that left leg. And preparing to get on the stretcher, it appears. John?
Yeah, you're going to see, you know, Mercereau comes over the top, and you see that left leg is locked in there, and it could be the ankle or the knee, but they rolled right over that left leg.
Here's the handoff to Hebron. He's close to a first down.
And we were watching on the sideline, and they were putting an air cast on there, you know, where they put like a brace, and then they pump it up with air. Again, you don't know if it's the knee or the ankle. Where they have the cast is in the area of the ankle.
It looks more like the ankle. You pointed out it was the left leg, the left knee that he had problems with the year before last. That appears to be not the problem. In the first half. Statue of Liberty, of course. A beautiful view of the harbor, but not to Randall Cunningham. Our information is it's his left ankle, and they're taking him in for x-rays, not the knee. They did not make the first down. Let me correct what I said before we went to that last commercial. Hebron, I thought, had the first down. He did not. So it's 4th and about a half yard. Sherman and Walker. That's Joseph in motion. And the handoff is to Heath Sherman. First down and more. To the 15-yard line of the Jets. And that, indeed, is the first down.
It was a great cutback by Heath Sherman. He started up the middle and felt the soft zone right to his left. If you look, he's going to start up the middle, then he's going to feel a soft area right in this area right here, and he's going to break it back there. You see, he takes the ball. There it is, right there. There's the soft area. He sees it, hits it perfectly.
They got the good block on Marshall. Brister. Incomplete. Intended for Calvin Williams. Knocked away by Kyle Clifton. From above, looking down at the capacity crowd. Don't forget to stay with us for Greg and Terry at the half. Scores and highlights. And a special news report from CBS News. The situation in Russia. 2nd and 10. Bubby Brister, the quarterback, after so many years with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Victor Bailey lined up on the wrong side. Did you see that? He lined up by Calvin Williams. Calvin Williams pushed him and said, get over on the other side. Bubby Brister knew that that was a play that wasn't going to work because they couldn't even line up in the right formation.
And he took the timeout.
Bailey's shaking his head. He knows that that one was his fault. That was something. He ran over to Calvin Williams, and Calvin Williams just pushed him and said, "You don't belong here. You're on the other side." Then Brister's up there, and he's looking, and he sees that happen. He knows he has to get out of it. But watch right here. This is Bailey right here. Now watch Calvin Williams when he comes over there. See him push him? Say, "Get over there to the other side." Brister sees all that and says, "Hey, that's no way to start a play."
So that's their last timeout.
Now, this is one of the things when you lose a quarterback. It's not that, Bubby Brister hasn't played. He's an 8-year veteran, but during the week you can only prepare one quarterback. So that quarterback is Randall Cunningham, and he gets all the reps. So a guy like Bubby Brister has to be able to do it without a lot of practice.
And I don't care how many years you've played. That was with another team, under another system. So it's still new. He starts Bailey in motion. Brister gets it to Victor Bailey. Down to the 10. Kyle Clifton wrestles him down at that point. Third down.
And now Bubby Brister is going to try and run the no huddle.
Out of timeouts.
Now he has to huddle up, too.
He's going to make sure everybody's got the message, he hopes. And I think there's a hope in there. Third down. Brister to throw it. Outside to Bavaro. Touchdown.
Hey, that's a heck of an effort by Bavaro getting in there. It's a heck of an effort by Bubby Brister. Randall Cunningham being injured. You have to come in. You're cold. You get something like this going. But watch Bavaro. Now, again, he's going to run an out pattern. He's going to run up. And now, right now, he's going to cut to the outside. Brister hits him with a perfect pass. And right here, he has to dive to get in the end zone, get that ball across the goal line, breaking the play.
So the Eagles have bounced right back. 12 plays. They went 65 yards. Bavaro the touchdown. And Matt Barr adds the extra point to make it 21-14.
Yeah, this is what it looks like. You watch from behind Bubby Brister. See, he's rolling a little. He's only looking at Bavaro. In fact, he even rolled to that side and makes a perfect throw to him. Then Bavaro comes under control. He lets the defensive back commit, and then he just dives over the top. But Brister knew that he was going to Bavaro all the way. He watched him all the way. He even rolled a little to his right.
Bobby Houston took a wave at the ball as it came by. But it was a mistimed wave, and Brister and the Eagles did a heck of a job to get that ball in after Cunningham went down.
And you watch Eric Thomas, number 22, he comes up. Bavaro's not going to run over him. You see right here, just comes under control and then just kind of lets him have a limp leg and goes right over. Now again, once the ball breaks the plane, it's a touchdown, and once there's a touchdown, it can't be a fumble.
It's the ball. And as you said, John, once the ball breaks the plane, what happens after that, unless it's unnecessary roughness or toning or one of those things, is inconsequential.
There's Boomer Esiason with Bruce Coslett looking at the game plan. Bruce Coslett is one of those head coaches who calls the offensive plays.
Barr's kickoff to Mathis. Terrence Mathis at the 2. Into the arms of the Eagle defenders, and the coverage is good. To bring you up to date on the baseball situation, the Braves, the Atlanta Braves, already have won. The Dodgers are beating the Giants in the bottom of the 4th 2-0. The Giants must win that game in order to force a playoff at Candlestick tomorrow. 10:35 tomorrow night on ESPN, if they have to do that. But first of all, the Giants have to win. The Jets have decided just to let it run out and finish the half and regroup.
I tell you, that was a big drive after Randall Cunningham was injured. Bubby Brister came in and took him down for a touchdown. That kept this Philadelphia Eagle team in the game.
That and the confidence of Richie Kotite and the rest of his Eagle squad. That's the end of the first half. The score then is the New York Jets 21, the Eagles 14.